All right, well, it's back by popular demand. We have another PBA pattern video for you guys where I'm going to be the caddy, Brad is going to be the bowler, and I'm going to guide this man on how to bowl on this 41-foot bear pattern. Stay tuned. All right. Brad, we have a bear pattern, we have a fresh bear pattern. Now, what is this pattern?
Well, first thing you need to know is the length. And really when we figure out patterns, or when we talk about patterns, when we look at patterns, that's kind of the main thing we look at is how long is it. Now there's a bunch of other details you can dig into, but the most important thing is how long does the oil go down the lane? The bear pattern is 41 feet. Now it's changed over the years.
It has, yeah.
I mean, the PBAs, when they first came out with bear, it was flat and it was about as hard as it can be. They've changed it to where it has a little bit of shape, meaning, it's just not impossible.
Yeah, there's a little less ratio, or I guess a little higher ratio.
A little more ratio.
So there's a little less oil on the outside part of the lane as the inside part of the lane. Before that thing was like US Open, flat. I mean, it was just completely brutal.
You knew you were in for it when you're bowling for the bear.
And it's still hard.
No, yeah. It's still definitely difficult. But okay, so 41 feet. But when we warm up, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to take the pattern and then we're going to basically do like a little 10-minute warm up as if you would back at home if you're bowling in like a PBA league or if you're bowling in a tournament of some sort, okay? You normally get about 10 minutes of practice, and that's what we're going to go through. What do we look for when we bowl on something like the PBA Bear and we get 10 minutes of practice? So I got 6 balls out here. I'm probably not going to get through all of them, but we're going to at least talk about why they're up here. And the first ball that I would mention...
What's the first one?
Well, and before we talk about bowling balls, you have 3 things during practice that you need to do. You need to warm up, and then you need to figure out what ball you're going to throw, and then you need to figure out what's going on with the lane. So you got to do all 3 of those simultaneously. So generally during the first couple while I'm warming up, I'll take a urethane ball. Now if it's more than 43 feet, 44 feet, I'm probably, I don't know, I guess you can try the urethane, but generally I'm going to throw more reactive at that point.
Unless you're doing this.
But 41 feet, we're at least going to take a look. So my first couple shots are going to be with the urethane, probably somewhere between 10 to 15 at the arrows, out to about 7, 8. And then I'm just going to get a couple reps in. I just want to see what
15.
urethane does.
Dang, my man's
well, there's a camera. There's a
man.
camera right here.
That's
I mean,
true,
you can try.
Yeah.
You can try anywhere from 5 to 10, and normally that'd be a good thing to try.
The right.
But we at least want to, you can do whatever on your first couple of shots, but urethane, you at least need to know what urethane's doing. That's an important piece in today's game.
Yeah, with the pattern, like probably going to be pretty difficult. We always want to give urethane a look if it's not too long of a pattern.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely.
Still some shots, baby.
Yep.
Urethane. This first one's going to peel, bro.
Keep it on the lane. We'll see. Nope.
All right, first shot.
Yeah, generally the first shot off the gate with a urethane ball, no oil on the cover, it usually just...
Yeah, if you would have gave that one more fingers, that one would have pop. But it's always a fault. What? I mean, you hit it a little.
All right, so we'll do one more with urethane, see if we can't get the hook a little more. Give it a little more. All right, so that already makes me want to throw urethane.
Yeah. If that slowed down and shaped in, even though it was a flat 10, that's
yeah.
We're probably.
And we can just give it a little bit more business and.
That's an option.
Get the 10 out.
We'll call it that.
Okay, so but that urethane hook, urethane got to the pocket. So now I'm actually going to keep it along the same lines and throw a gem, which is similar to urethane in a lot of ways. And it's similar to urethane. It's completely on the other end of the spectrum. It's reactive, asymmetric, and but it's so strong that it actually rolls out something similar like a urethane ball. So I'm going to go ball all the way up to a gem and throw it in a similar position and see if this ball hooks way out of the building or not. No. See, it actually rolled pretty similar to a urethane ball.
Yeah, for sure. And it actually just didn't probably slow down quite enough.
No.
I mean, so it's fresh out here. Now, the reason everyone's throwing urethane and why we're throwing urethane is urethane hooks earlier than everything else. So on the fresh, when that oil is just crisp, there's no wear and tear on it, sometimes it's hard to get the ball to slow down. And we got to get the ball to slow down to get a good reaction. So when we say slow down, we mean hook, read the lane. Now, the urethane ball hooks the earliest. So we're looking for something to read the lane, because if it's not reading the lane early enough, you're going to do that. When it does hook, it's going to knife down lane, and then it's going to give you that over-under. So that's why guys throw urethane, because it's so smooth. You'll give up a little, maybe the carry, to get a reaction that you're hitting the pocket all the time.
Yeah, especially if you're a high rev player out there, you definitely got to have urethane in a lot of different scenarios. But I'm going to give one more shot at this gym. I'm going to make it hook earlier. And this is all just knowledge. I mean, we're building a database of what to do. We know the urethane can get to the hole after 2 shots, and this is similar, so this can probably also get to the hole, but which one do you do? Do you do the reactive or the urethane? And this next shot will just, help us kind of figure out, does this go through the pins correctly? Does it? So that should. Good. So that's a little bit of the difference between reactive and urethane. Is urethane doesn't want to be that violent. It's still a fresh pattern. And that ball, yeah, the first one rolled out because it's so strong, but it's still also very strong. So when it does catch a hold of some friction, it has a tendency to want to do that. Now we know that.
Yeah, ideally the first one 2-pin, the next one went through the face. The urethane is going to blend that out and give you a lot smoother reaction. That's how we're going for it. Also, this pattern has a lot of friction in the middle part of the lane. So there's not a whole lot of hold going on the 41 feet. And in general, when you're bowling on a flat, medium pattern like this, wouldn't you say that if you're not throwing urethane, generally when we're bowling on something flat like this, outside of like 5 is kind of a no-fly zone.
Yeah.
Because there's just too much oil out there and not enough free hook that when you get the ball outside of 5, it's gonna be out there. Sometimes people can go up 5 maybe, but that's like tricking it, I would say.
Yeah, and you can also think along the lines of outside of 5 is much farther away from the head pin. There has to be much more hook involved, and this is a game of like angle and control, and just being that far away from the head pin on an extremely difficult pattern can cause some inconsistencies. That's why you see guys, when they go to the Peterson and the lanes are unplayable, they just huck it straight to the head pin. There's an aspect of just getting it kind of close to the head pin sometimes on really hard patterns.
Yeah, I would say like on these medium patterns, just like as a strategy thing, and when they're flat like this, we're trying to manipulate the middle part of the lane more than like the outside right part of the lane for a righty. Left-handers is a little different because there's not as much traffic, but we're probably, like you said earlier, you're starting around 10 to 15, and you're probably never going to be right of that. That's like the furthest right you're going to give a try, and then you're just going to move in, right?
Yeah, and because being so far out there is difficult, you're going to want to try and throw urethane or something really slow that makes the pattern feel not so flat, that hooks early enough, and that gives you enough control. So if the urethane isn't looking good, or some trick ball, or some trick shape, then yeah, we're playing in the middle of the lane. And then, when you get a lot of really good players on the lanes, the middles get burned up because we're all playing in the middles, and then it becomes really fun. And then it's just a big move, get left. And I would say that, that's almost every pattern we bowl on, but specifically on the mediums, like the 39 to 41, they can be so tricky and so touchy that when you get all the high rev guys in the middle part of the lane, there's only one thing you can do. You have to go left, and it's who can get left quickest, and that's a lot. So if you're a high rev guy out there and you want a competitive advantage, you have to see what works in the middle part of the lane, and this is what we can do in this practice session too, but because you're going to end up there. So anyway, so the next ball, so since we jim's too much, which now we need to know, is it the asim or is it the, would a symmetric ball be a little bit smoother coming around that spot? So this is where you would try a phase 2.
Yep.
But since we throw the phase 2 everywhere, I'm going to try a summit, which is a similar ball.
I like the summit.
Yeah, I like the summit too.
Been really enjoying. It's just a nice medium ball. It's pretty rolly. It's smooth. So it keeps me in play quite a bit.
Yeah, and on this one, since I watched that gym overreact, I already don't want to play in that spot. I mean, because it 2-pinned and then overreacted. So I'm going to move maybe 4 boards left, and then see what starts to happen if I create a little shape.
to it. This is more realistically where you're going to be playing if you're in a tournament.
Oh, that was a terrible shot, but we can.
And you can see when not to do that. We call that the flying elbow.
Yeah, that was
stick in there.
one of those.
Boom. No,
left.
no hold has ever been created with the elbow being right here.
That's when you need pattern help.
Yeah, we need more oil in the middle part of the lane.
But we can still learn from our bad shots. I still saw that ball react. It didn't make this knife, edgy, sharp motion. It still kind of blended it, even though it was a really bad shot.
Yeah, you 3-6-10, right?
Yes.
So when you go through the face with the ball, like your leaves, when you're warming up, practicing, trying to figure out what bowling balls you leave, the type of leaves you're leaving tells you everything. And that's like some key thing that you guys at home can really pick up. Like for instance, he elbowed it. That would, I mean, if you were bowling a game, that'd be a terrible shot, right? But you 3-6-10. You didn't 3-6-7-10. You didn't big four, and you went through the face. So now we know, like, we have an idea that, oh, this summit, when we miss, maybe it leaves us something easier.
Yeah, and sometimes when you throw that bad shot with like a cleaner ball or just the wrong ball, it could, you know, you elbow it, it's left, it's obviously not going to strike, but there's like this extra slide that happens, and then it Greek churches, or then it gets 5. And it's like, I know there's other balls that won't make that like aggressive of a weird angle to leave the split. And so if you could tell even on that, on a bad shot with like a too clean of a ball, like that tells you it's too clean, that it got 5, this got 7, left me a makeable. So that's just another thing that, you know, you learn. But I'm gonna try and throw this shot much better. And
yeah, let's get a few shots in here. Let's get you lined up. Let's get a little more oomph.
yeah.
All right.
And that slow, deliberate shape is what we're looking for. It's what you're looking for most of the time. It stops working when it starts doing it too much and you have a hard time getting the corner pins out, or you're leaving like these really weak, placky stuff. But heck, when scores are low, even that's not bad.
Now, let's see another one. Pro bowler Brad. Let's see, we call this repeating. That's close.
All right.
All right, well, I think we have a decent idea what ball you might start with.
So yeah, we like that way better than the gym. And
So,
something really strong.
ball that I see on the rack right now that I'd like you to try, that I'm interested in, is the new Exponent that just came out. So, what I've seen out of this ball is that it seems like the core is relatively strong, so it's still pretty rolly. So to me, if you are on like maybe a high friction center, even though this ball has a little bit of lane shine gloss to it for the fresh, the core is pretty rolly. So maybe this will be something you transition to as we move in.
That's why I put it on the rack, because this is going to be a step down from the phase 2 section, but it still is a somewhat rolly of a ball, which tells you like it gives you just a touch weaker option for like the fresh. And so because it's that weaker option, you want to give it a try.
Are you gonna throw this in the same area?
Same
as the summit?
spot.
Same area.
That's a little right.
Yeah, it's a little right.
A little right.
A little clean. Sometimes it's like, it definitely got right, but sometimes it's harder to depict when you're bowling. Like the summit I see has surface on it. That cover is pretty fresh. It's not too lane shine. So like, it's gonna slow down before it wants to jet to the right a little bit. Now that shot was a little right, but there's a chance that summit would have still read the lane early enough to kind of make it shape. But you see another one out of that one?
So I'm actually gonna move like maybe another 4 left just to see what's starting to develop on this pattern in terms of can we create shape.
All right.
So I'm just gonna make another move. Okay. It's all right. We're kind of staying in the ballpark here. This is pretty good. When we go through different balls and we get kind of similar reactions, we like multiple balls that we've thrown, that's a good sign. That means you're throwing it good. It means you're, especially on a pattern that requires some form of accuracy or knowledge. When you can make multiple balls strike, let's say in practice session, that should give you some confidence. Like, yeah, I'm throwing it pretty good.
Yeah, that Exponent was definitely a little, it's cleaner, but it's still, because I think the core, it's pretty forward still down lane. Like you could tell by that one that it didn't knife through the pins. Like the 10 got kicked, it wasn't too angular. So, you know, that's kind of like a perfect ball down from your summit almost. It's like similar down lane. It's just the covers and the strength of the cover is kind of giving it a different window to throw. Like the summit's earlier, that one's cleaner.
Yep.
I would like to see maybe like a ball that we probably wouldn't throw right now would be the phase 5.
Yep, that's the next one down. And this, you know, we know throwing this, let's call it like the last couple minutes of practice, we know that we're probably not going to throw this. We already like what we're seeing and the multiple options that we have in the slower category. But we know that since it's 41 feet, there's competition, that as we're moving left, and we've already moved, you know, 6, 7 left and tried that, and it's already looked fine. So that already tells you, all right, well, that, you know.
It's going to get to that.
Yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. And so this is just purely, all right, what happens in 2 or 3 games when we're, you know, 10, 15 farther left and our angles are much sharper.
Yeah, you're just trying to get a read on like what this ball does for later in the day. Maybe just see it go down the lane, you know.
That was yanked.
Well yanked.
But it's also, you know, as you move left and open your angles, you got to kind of, you know, have a little bit more finesse and throw it a little differently. So you're getting used to that angle as well. You're with your vision. A little swing of the hips.
I don't know what we're doing here.
That's what we're doing.
I like it. All right, try to strike with the phase 5.
All right.
This ball is going to be harder to control because it's going to be a little cleaner cover, a little whippier down lane, and it's not going to want to slow down and give us that like smoother down lane reaction we're kind of looking for. Unless you butter it.
All right.
So you can even see on that one, like you're shaping it and it cornered through the pins more. So we tell us, okay, that phase 5, if maybe that exponent is too forward and you're placking 10s, you can always see that phase 5 on that shot touch the 8 pin, where the exponent when you're throwing it barely got the 10 out. So now you know, like, okay, that phase 5 is a little more down lane. So when you transition left as those lanes burned up, you know your clean option's looking okay, and you know that that's what you need to go to when those other balls are kind of placking 10 rolling out.
Yeah.
All right, Brad, gun to your head right now. We've thrown 5 balls down the lane. If you had to start with one, which one is it going to be?
Exponent.
Exponent,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Which one do you think I would have picked for you?
Summit.
Summit, yeah. The
well,
Summit.
And it's only because the last couple of shots we creeped in with the cleaner stuff and it already looked fine. So my thinking is, well, if I go all the way back to the Summit, then I've already kind of succeeded in our transition move. And since it's already here, it's not going to be long before it's already there. So I'm already going to try and get ahead of it. But the gun to the head, I don't know. I'm going to throw the high hard heater.
It's that's just a couple different ways to looking at it. Obviously, people see reactions different. Brad's going to be more comfortable with the Summit. If you wanted to go with the slower option, that's perfectly okay.
Also, right now, just me, it's kind of an easier conversation. If you're in a tournament or in league play and you have other people affecting you, specifically in tournaments, if you see the better players throwing urethane, or if you see the pair that you're going to next throw urethane, that dictates what you're going to throw. You know, if I knew the pair that I was going to was going to throw urethane, I might stick out urethane this game since it didn't look bad, since I know I might throw it the next game. But since it's just me, you know, and the ball downs already were right, then might as well just go with it.
Yep.
All right, guys, thank you for watching that video. That is the PBA Bear Pattern, 41 feet, medium. We consider medium anywhere from 38 to 42, so you can use these thoughts and tactics anywhere on the medium pattern spectrum.
Oh, is this my turn to say something? Guys, make sure you like the video, subscribe. We giveaway?
Giveaway, yes.
We have a giveaway.
We have a giveaway.
Listen, 20 bowlers. We're getting 20 of our viewers ready for league. That's all we can afford. 20 balls that we're giving away, plus a Brad and Kyle t-shirt, plus a 1-month free membership. It's a great way to get tuned up for league. Make sure you click the link in the description.
Get in.
It's free, and we'll see you later.